Let's take a look at, and I'm going to come down here to the PowerShell icon, and I'm going to right-click on it. And you'll see here that I could have done PowerShell, but I also have Windows PowerShell ISE. And ISE stands for Integrated Scripting Environment. I'm going to click on that, and it's going to take just a moment here. And I will tell you that the very first time you open it, it takes a little bit longer than when you go back and revisit this utility. So if you're following along and this is the first time you've been into this tool, it may not have popped up on your screen as quickly as it did for me. In this utility, we now have the ability to save ourselves some of the typing that we had to do when typing in these long commands. Okay, and technically, I will tell you, even in the standard PowerShell utility, once you get familiar with it, you'll see that you don't have to type everything in. You can use the tab key to auto-populate certain commands. But in here, using the IntelliSense technology, as I'm typing, it's going to help me. So if I type in get dash, and as soon as I type that, I don't even have to go any further. You'll see here it's already showing me all the different get commands. And if I start typing in service, right, because I know it's the services that I want to get, I get as far as serv, well, we'll even throw an I in there, and boom, look at that. We got get service already highlighted. It shows you some help that goes along with that command. I could use my arrows to scroll through the different choices here, but if get service is what I want, then I just hit the tab command and it auto-populates that for me. Then I'm going to go ahead and put in my pipe and type in where dash, and look, where object is the only choice, so I'll hit tab and put in my bracket. And we'll see, I did the right bracket this time. $, underscore, dot, status. All right, I can hit tab, didn't have to go any further there. Dash EQ, not much to type, but it is already there. And then it's not going to help me with any of the rest of this because now I'm doing something in quotes. But I'll go ahead and put in running and my end bracket. And you'll see here that it's kind of helping guide me along. If I was a little bit unsure, if I knew mostly what I was doing, but I was a little bit unsure, it's guiding me along. And if I hit enter, I can do so with a little bit more confidence that the command has been typed correctly. Now I could do some additional commands here, like I could do get dash command dash noun, and I'm kind of doing this slowly so you can see that I'm auto-populating a lot of these things. And then service. What is this going to do? Well, this is going to get me all the commands that have to do with service. And you'll see here that I can get a service, have a new service, restart a service, resume, set, start, stop, and suspend services. These are all the different things I can do with my services in PowerShell. You'll also notice that all the way to the left, when it says command type, you'll see it says commandlet. And that's a term that you should be familiar with. If you're going to be familiar with PowerShell, then you should be familiar with the term commandlet, because that's what PowerShell is made up of. It's made up of all the various commandlets that you put together to create scripts to do really powerful stuff. If I were to type in get process, look at this. Shows me all the various processes that are running on this system. Does this look like anything that you've ever seen before? This little output here that it had on display? If you've ever worked with any Windows Server operating system in the last, I don't know, decade or longer, you may be familiar with something called the Task Manager. And this is very similar to what the Processes tab of the Task Manager looked like.